Ezreal mid in a really long time. So this is really interesting. This is definitely a pick that he has prepared for playoffs specifically. I can't even remember the last time I saw Ezreal mid in competitive play. I mean, the last time it was popular was back with like Runeglaive, right? When you went the jungle item in the mid lane, which was what, 2-3 years ago, something like that. So really interested to see how well he can actually, play this out. Obviously, there is the ability to try to actually trade from range and to poke away at the Azir. If the Azir uses his Q forward, you can shift in past those soldiers and look for an aggressive trade back onto PowerOfEvil. So PowerOfEvil is really going to have to be careful about how he uses his cooldowns in this matchup.
Yep, well, Jiizuke's on Conqueror, so I'm expecting AD Ezreal to be the pickup here. I double-checked. There are no lifetime games for Jiizuke in pro play on Ezreal. This is very, very first. And you said, hey, what kind of economics does this guy have? His champ pool is very large. Well, first time in pro, Ezreal mid comes through. We're expecting to be AD. We have seen things like Kennen go Doran's Blade into AP later, but really expecting AD Ezreal here. And Jiizuke's going to show us something fun.
I'm really excited. So he did sell the call. He decided, no, he's not going to go that crazy. He is going to stick with the Doran's Blade. More tried and true here. This is going to be really, really interesting. I'm going to kind of be learning alongside the viewers here, as this is not something I have really been seeing at all. Would be interested to know.
It's not spiking in solo queue or anything either.
Yeah, exactly.
This is just Jiizuke said, "This is a champ I want to do. I'm going to go for."
It's honestly, it makes me think of Boy. I know Boy plays some Ezreal mid. I remember seeing him play that in Twitch Rivals and some things like that. So, no idea if he's taking a page out of his book, but perhaps the kid making his return in spirit form, inspiring Jiizuke.
Yep, absolutely. Like, it's fun, like, being at my computer at home, because I can look up, like, okay, what are some good, like, stats checking stuff to look for? So I'm like, hey, show me some Ezreal pro builds, and there's just nothing in mid.
Yep.
Like, across solo queue, I haven't seen any games from anyone that's not an AD carry playing it as an AD carry. So, hey, good on Jiizuke. I want to see if it's good. Good luck on you. This doesn't seem like his type of pick, by the way, right? It's not a dedicated split push. The wave from that champion is not phenomenal. It is team fight damage output and poke. It also does put EG fairly physical heavy. Now, Ezreal is a bit mixed overall. He's, a good 30%-ish magic from the W, E, and R, all being reasonably meaningful sources of damage output, but it really does mean that Santorin and IgNar and Viper can all pretty easily stack armor.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to see a lot of tabbies on a number of these members. You can see full tank with armor stacking from Santorin. You can see easily things like, there's a little engage happening on the bot side.
First to 2, that's the big thing, right? Is you need to back up before the third melee minion dies, where it's level 2. It doesn't mean that much damage. The follow-through is not super huge, but it is still a couple hundred damage dealt, and it forces the potion off of WildTurtle.
Yeah, I think that's like the key thing there, getting that potion out. But yeah, I mean, on Sett, you can very easily do things like Bramble and Tappies, and then go into kind of more core items. Those types of builds work very, very well. So I'm going to be interested to see if it does force that out, or if Viper is still going to want to build more for that 1v1. Because if he is just going Blade of the Rune King Sett, that type of build still, if you show up to team fight against double marksman, you are going to be very, very susceptible to getting focused down.
Well, in the very early game, Jiizuke gets a 2 CS lead off of the first 3 waves, 17-15 as those all drop down. Kumo gets a knockup, gets a grasp proc, does some decent damage, but as we kind of expect, Viper has the early push lead. And Ornn is a magic damage heavy champion, and honestly, because of his percent health damage scaling, can threaten champions sometimes, so maybe Viper won't quite be allowed to armor stack. I'm not sure. I don't know if I expect him to go Merc Treads, but it would certainly help the matchup, though it might not be great for the overall game state. We'll have to see what kind of choice he makes there. As a fight towards the top side, Svenskeren is over the wall and goes, wait a second. Oh, he gets the smite! Gets the smite, and Torin walks away, getting almost nothing from the camp despite doing all the work.
That was probably 10 HP or less. It was so low, and Santorin didn't actually have his smite available, so that's pretty annoying. Svenskeren slides in, does take that away, and we'll be able to retreat to his Krug so he can farm that up. But yeah, I mean, if Viper wants to build for the 1v1, he can go Bork and Merc Treads and these types of things and Triforce and just try to go purely for that. But if he wants to act like a pseudo tank, you can go the more kind of tanky builds with some early armor and Sterix and these types of things and just try to beef up to allow freedom for PowerOfEvil and WildTurtle to get damage done in team fights, because there's a lot of damage already between the Azir and the Xayah, and it's also mixed damage profile, right? You have pretty much pure magic from the Azir, pretty much pure physical from the Xayah, so things can be looking very nice as far as that does go.
Yeah.
Also got to keep in mind, how good the engage is for these squads, right? J4 plus Rakan, very solid engage, and even stronger engage, honestly, over on the side of EG between Ornn, Gragas, and Nautilus. You can pretty much start a fight whenever you want.
All right, watch for the engages then. Yeah, I know it can be annoying to have to be the first engage as Ornn, but as follow-up, he's absolutely phenomenal, and you've got a Gragas or Nautilus to make that happen. So, does look like EG's comp can definitely execute pretty well. Fighting over the top side right now. Big punch with a lot of damage. Kumo has to burn his E to escape at this point. I think we're going to see TP out of the top laner, as Viper doing pretty comfortably up at the top side. Has a very big CS lead. And actually, yeah, Kumo's healthy enough, it looks like, with just enough here. Fit his Bramble Vest and should be able to wave clear, but got pretty low off that fight.
It was a bit of a silly trade, to be honest. Maybe he's trying to threaten that, hey, the jungler could be up here, I'm fighting aggressively, you got to watch out type thing. But, taking those trades, it's so easy for Sett to win out on, as long as he's able to actually get a decent haymaker off. It almost is never going to go in your favor. You pretty much have to take a quick trade where you proc the brittle and then immediately run away, because any sort of extended trade will just go more and more in the favor of the Sett when you're playing Ornn.
I also want to point out something pretty important here. Bang had to take a really unfortunate recall. We talked last week about you really want to have, that 40-ish CS at 5 minutes and change so you can make the BF sword recall. He was forced back, though, lost the entire wave under his turret. WildTurtle gets BF sword. Bang only gets the pickaxe there, and they're going to come back to lane with equal CS, but 15 more attack damage on Turtle should mean some lane control for the Xayah Rakan.
That's going to be feeling really good for them, having that better recall, as Santorin and Svenskeren going to see each other here. You can see Jiizuke threatening to move over. Jiizuke does also have the ultimate to join in if there's any sort of gank that happens in that bot lane or any types of fights like that. So something that they'll have to watch out for a little bit is that kind of global presence of the Ezreal, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, and with enough lockdown, like that true shot barrage, yeah, it's easy to miss, but if they're stunned for 4 seconds, maybe you land that one a bit more, and that's a nice 300 damage of the top that can help find you lethal. Something to watch for. Santorin gets the second red buff spawn without much issue, and we'll wait to see if the Drake gets attacked before too terribly long. We're 1 minute away from Rift Herald coming up. And again, I'm expecting FlyQuest to have control over bottom lane. I mean, Bang doesn't have great recalls here. Like, he can pick up boots or something, realistically, but, he's doing the Infinity Edge build. It's not like you can stack up a little long swords and feel good about that. So, yeah, boots and a dagger gets a ward. Like, it does close the gap somewhat. The item deficit now is arguably the items are stat-wise stronger for Bang, but Turtle should still have some lane control, should be able to shove in bot. And realistically, is losing a few seconds. He's a little bit late to shoving that wave in, but doesn't really matter. It'll deny, a couple of farm from Kumo, but as we mentioned, 8-minute Rift Herald is going to be on the map, and Bang is recalling to make sure he can be there for it.
So that's going to be the response, right? Just make the move earlier, buy as much as you can to be as strong as you can. But yeah, I mean, if you can't get the BF early, it can be pretty difficult to actually save up to wards. It's a very, very expensive item. Zeyzal is just going to help push this in. This is less about the gank and more just about resetting that wave so that they can actually move up and start this Rift Herald. And Jiizuke does have TP. They have their top laner, Kumo, down in the bottom lane where he can actually be pushing out this wave. And if a fight breaks out, he can still join with TP. So EG do want to play this a little bit slow, force FlyQuest to be the ones to make the move because Kumo is already in a good position. I would honestly like to see Kumo just push in another wave and force EG to be getting an advantage just through the denial of those minions.
Yeah, if he AFK'd it right there, it would simply just push towards him and become a freeze. If he shoves it, obviously they just crash into the turret early. He has a chance of going for plates if he has demolished, things like this. And yeah, absolutely no one is bot lane. That entire wave, in fact, it's great. 2 waves right now, crashing into the bot lane turret that Viper is not getting. This turret's going to watch Santorin, make him not going to do too much there. They are doing damage to the Rift Herald. The rest of the squad is showing up. Jiizuke right now is on a recall. He has burned his ultimate, but he does have TP if he is needed.
Oh, this is going to reset.
Now Shelly runs out of patience. Here comes the double teleport in. Will this be a fight that they can make? Can they get damage here? As they look for the knockup, they don't quite find it, but the double knockup on the backside there, IgNar and Santorin are split up. and Jarvan is running low on health. One more attack will do it. First blood comes through. A huge chunk comes through for Viper, and that means Zeyzal drops now as well. 4v4 as Viper's in the front line. IgNar flashes in, finds a knock up there. The charm as well, the punch into Santorin. And IgNar claims that kill. Supports are getting all the kills in right now as Turtle is running for dear life. And Kumo claps him at the very back of this one, but he's stuck inside the pit. And Viper gets his own kill. 3-2 on the scoreboard for FlyQuest. As Bang has corralled them, though, with the turret up there. These health bars are very, very low. Shelly is helping. It's a 3-on-3 because the damage is coming across, and Viper is 2 autos from dead. But Jiizuke cannot run away. PoE needs one more auto attack. One more auto attack past that one. He's trying to get away, but Santorin is here, and the kill comes through. Bang answered one, but Shelly has changed sides and claps down that 5th and final kill for FlyQuest.
FlyQuest coming out way on top on this. It was a nice initial move towards the rift for EG, but can Zeyzal get back in time? He can, but it's going to be too little too late. That one just felt like EG, had it in their hands and actually couldn't hit their abilities. I was watching Jiizuke largely throughout this fight. It just felt like he was straight up missing almost everything. Right, and he just wasn't able to have that successful fight, throughout this really long extended scenario. Kumo also straight up missed his E on the wall, wasn't able to actually connect with that, then gets knocked up, misses the redirect on his ultimate, so he doesn't have the time there. And Jiizuke was over on the side, trying to poke away, wasn't really getting many auto attacks in, wasn't really getting much of anything done, as PowerOfEvil was honestly pretty consistently getting damage out, it felt like, through most of this fight. And EG at this position felt like, hey, you kind of have them corralled, the turret can be placed by Bang to actually drop in on top of them and maybe they can get something done, but then Jiizuke not able to actually sidestep the haymaker here, gets clipped with this, taking a lot of damage. PowerOfEvil poking away at him, and Jiizuke gets low enough there that then FlyQuest can fight their way out of that pit and really turn this around. But that is one I think that EG, it's a fight they maybe should have taken. It's a pretty decent one, but they just mis-executed. The missed knock-up, the misdirection on the ultimate, a lot of kind of lost opportunities for damage, I felt like, from Jiizuke, results in a teamfight loss that still they're ahead in gold, so it's not the end of the world, but that's one where it didn't feel like it was the poor decision. It just felt like poor execution.
Yeah, it puts the Mist and Mystic Shot FlyQuest right now a little bit down in gold, but we expect the Herald charge. I mean, it's almost lethal on mid-turret right now. Wouldn't quite kill it with no wave there. I think it wouldn't have quite finished the deal, but Santorin is holding the Herald charge, and pretty soon we expect to see 3 plates in first turret gold go over to FlyQuest, and that would flip the gold right back over. It's almost 1,000 gold for that kind of play, so looking for that one to happen. Again, mid lane shoved in, and 2 autos will knock down that plate. Can't quite go for it, still afraid of being jumped on as EG are collapsing near mid. Also, Viper is alone in top without TP. He is getting solo pressure, and notice answering that turret. That is going to be gold earned, and we can see Santorin coming top side, should easily be able to get 2 autos off, then the charge. Then that's going to be a Cloud Drake picked up, but a very late one. This doesn't look like a game that's going to be going to Elder Soul, or sorry, to Dragon Soul and or Elder Dragon this game, but it does mean a ton of gold goes top side. The 2 primary tanks on FlyQuest share all of the money, and that's going to catapult Viper and Santorin as an armor stacking frontline. It
really will. And the sad part for Kumo is, off of that lane swap, it was actually really intelligent because he got a plate and actually completely caught up in farm. So, he had pulled right back even into that matchup, or even ahead prior to that Rift Herald fight. But not only do they take the Rift Herald, Viper picked up 2 kills, 3 assists in that fight, then gets all that turret gold from the first tower. Jiizuke now in trouble.
A lot of damage coming in. Arcane Shift already down, gets dunked in the way, and that's the rest of it.
Oh, they're gonna get both!
Oh my gosh! What a play! Svenskeren turns it around, ends up being a 2-for-1 to EG. I thought that was perfect, but it wasn't.
Credit to EG. Jiizuke as well, fighting his way out of that. He got the solo kill on Santorin, who felt like he had enough in the tank to be able to actually withstand those turret shots. He did have a stopwatch. I'm not sure if that he just bought that after his death, but we'll have to see one more time as he was able to fight his way out of that, taking down Santorin and then Svenskeren cleaning up PowerOfEvil with some really nice play.
Yeah, Offensive Commencing Stopwatch should have been available by that point in time. So you can watch that fight yet again, and they just kind of try to burn the Arcane Shift, right? No shuffle comes in, just trying to force it out.
Yeah, so they do actually force that out. Santorin then goes in. He's tanking up this tower, but Jiizuke lands everything in this one. That final Mystic Shot plus the tower shot going through to actually kill him off. Svenskeren coming through, and even if that Mystic Shot hadn't actually hit, Svenskeren was throwing his ultimate over towards Santorin to make sure that he did fall down there. So EG ended up going 2 for 1 in what was a FlyQuest initiated play, and we are still sitting dead even in gold despite all the craziness in this one.
Azael, you mentioned stopwatch. It was actually a really huge deal if it was popped. Like, that turret wouldn't have heated up so much. The only reason PoE even died was it was like a 5-attack turret, which means it was fully charged, dealing double damage to champions every attack because it hit Santorin so long. If you stopwatch that, it doesn't deal double damage to PoE. He gets body slammed once, then walks away unless Sven can get his cooldowns back up for the next wave of it. So really, really meaningful there if he was able to cast that, but. Again, I wasn't sure if he had an inventory. I think he did. I think he had enough assists for the defensive stopwatch to be available. So that seems like a small misplay. I think he thought he had the durability and was just slightly wrong on that one. End of the day, 2 for 1 to EG. Still a very close game. 300 gold lead to FlyQuest. Cloud Drake lead to Evil Geniuses. I would say Ezreal is one of the very best Cloud Drake users. Getting that ulti cooldown faster and then getting the flat cooldown resets off the Q. Really meaningful.
That is a pretty big deal. But I would say, honestly, if I'm trying to kind of score the Ezreal thus far, I'm preferring to have an Azir if this is the kind of situation you're going to be in. Obviously, even just discounting the kills, if you're kind of just farming evenly as this Ezreal into the Azir, I really do prefer having the Azir over on my team, not only because of how well that champion scales, but also because it is mixed damage then, right? Then you have AP coming out of the mid lane, plus the AD coming out of WildTurtle, where Jiizuke is just going to be more physical damage in a largely physical damage team. So I'm a little bit concerned about how that has kind of played out. He wasn't really able to create much of a lane advantage. You may still be able to make it work in those team fights, as obviously the 2-item power spike is always what you're kind of looking towards as Ezreal.
Oh, looking towards Ezreal as a Shurima shuffle and the rest of the squad. No chance for reactions, 3-on-1 kill.
That was clean from FlyQuest. There was actually no way to react, shift, flash, do anything. As Turtle now will flash away.
Good play.
Does get out of there, but that was really clean from FlyQuest. Jiizuke had stuff available to get out, but never had a chance to actually use it. Can't say there was any misplay from him. It didn't feel like. So FlyQuest escape on the bot side, get a kill in the mid lane, and they're going to grab another Herald for themselves here to potentially just knock down this mid turret.
There's one thing I do want to bring up as we're talking about this, and the game is going a bit more FlyQuest favor. We're seeing them now about 1,000 gold up. Is actual armor tracking, because I think we both agree that having only one damage type of real threat, Ezreal Aphelios double physical, but the armor bot is a Ninja Tabby, and this IgNar is going towards he's going towards the Aegis Glacial Shroud, like he's going towards the Zeke's Harbinger, but there is not that much armor stacking yet. So for now, especially with Merc Threads coming through the Viper, it is not, they don't have that deficiency yet.
Definitely not. It could become a problem later on, but I agree. It's not really an issue at all right now whatsoever. And especially because Viper is going for much more that 1v1 style build. He's not going to be building more tanky for that team fight. It is Blade of the Rune King as Bang with a swing and a miss there on the ultimate, looking to start something up over by this dragon. EG want to continue stacking this. Whether we think it's going to go to Elder and Soul or anything or not, they want to at least have that as a potential win condition. But Kumo right now is still pushing up on that top side. Would have to TP to join. Jiizuke may just be able to finish this tower, though.
Oh, PoE flashes for the play, knocks right back in the air, but Jiizuke can flash to trade that away and not get caught up. And now Kumo is in, finds a knock-up, but Viper is not the easy target. Santorin burns stopwatch, dunk in the backline, but now Viper is isolated. The damage comes in, and Bang is free-firing. 1 for 0 as mid-turret falls to the Herald charge. Not sure that gold was picked up as no one was in range for the extended one. But as PoE puts up his own turret, this fight will stop. Mid lane outer falls, the kill comes through to Evil Geniuses.
Should be EG getting the dragon, because Santorin is actually back in base. They can just rush this. Svenskeren stayed healthy enough that it will be the second dragon going the way of EG. So Kumo TPing in, barely survives. They get the kill. They do end up taking that objective right after it also. And this really is that downside of this build that Viper's going for. I really feel like Blade of the Ruined King is being heavily overvalued on Sett. It is a great item if you want to stay in that side lane and actually just split push and 1v1. But when you show up to a team fight, you're simply not getting enough auto attacks off to really get the same amount of value out of something like the Blade of the Ruined King that you would from Asterix or those more purely tanky items. Right, and this is the issue that so many times when I see in pro people building that Blade of the Ruined King, they're actually not spending their time in the side lane. They're not creating their advantages in the side lane. They're just building side lane items and then going for a team fight where they're then simply less effective.
Yeah, and you can see it definitely hurt him there. I mean, that fight was reasonably close. You saw Kumo limped away with, 3% health left on that bar, and you get a little bit more time for PoE or Turtle to free fire, and that fight maybe does look different. But end of the day, he died really quickly, and then they could turn their attention to the rest of the backline, who was, also pretty squishy here. Items are coming through. We're seeing WildTurtle go towards his Zeal upgrade. I do want to see Infinity Edge come in before too terribly long. It's, I think, the most important power spike to Xayah, and the more you delay it, I think the harder the game can be. But regardless, items are coming through. Santorin's going to claim this top scuttle, no problem.
Bang with a pretty interesting set of items here. So he already had a Zeal, and he just bought another Crit Cloak. So maybe going towards Essence Reaver now, or something like that, or just really valuing that extra crit. But Crit Cloak, since the nerf, to my understanding, is not really that effective on its own as a solitary item. So is pretty surprising to see that that's not just like a Kerchi shard or something, but they're looking for PowerOfEvil here.
There is a knockup. PoE's going to walk backwards, explosive casts away, and Kumo almost finds that knockup, but he's going to find a way, PoE, to walk out of this one. That is health bars dropped low, though, and Evil Geniuses with control of the map. They walk into mid lane. No one is here to stop them. A quick turret comes down to slow any attempts of FlyQuest to walk in, quite literally and figuratively. And out they can go with turret number 3 picked up and a gold lead of 1,400.
So Viper sitting in that side lane, they decide not to respond. They're just going to try to knock down towers there, try to extend his gold lead for that side lane split push. But it is Kumo who has actually been able to pick up more farm, I think largely due to better map play for EG. They often are the ones, it feels like, who are better set up previous to these objectives. So Kumo is getting the advantage of picking up more farm, where Viper sometimes just has to run straight to the team to be able to be there in time. FlyQuest now are trying to bait this Baron, and they are going to get a pick potentially on Zeyzal.
Double knockup going to be found. Zeyzal's going to be pretty tanky for a while. Turtle dropped the half HP off True Shot Barrage and not going to land. Bang, not going to get that one as the team is forced to run away, but some of them are stuck on the other side of the wall. Knockup into a clap, and over the wall, Viper barely stays alive with a dunk that gets him to safety. Svenskeren's going to get dropped here, so it's a 1-for-1, but what about the re-engage? Look at how low the health bar is in WildTurtle. Can they find a single spell that would slow him down? Nice Wolf gets away from the knockup, just maybe, but it's not going to be enough. Kumo finds that kill credit. It's 2-1 so far, and IgNar has to flash to get back as well. Even Genesis yet again win a team fight.
Again, it goes bad at the bear and for FlyQuest. This time, they weren't even starting it up. They were just trying to bait. But just like last game, they go to that bear and bad things seem to happen here. As Jiizuke had a very, very strong point in the game. He has those two items. Kumo in this fight was great. Found a lot of knockups. Was able to actually get around and finish off Turtle also. And Jiizuke, insult to injury, should be able to just
You can auto it, buddy.
Yeah, just auto that turret. It's 1 HP. Get it. You can do it.
Yay! All right, he's fine. He's fine. He's healed back up anyway. It's not like it really matters. It is always funny. Like 1 in 100 games to see someone like run away from a turret that'll kill them, and it's like, no, you just kill the turret first, and you actually get away. Sometimes, I understand. Whatever. He's all right. No big deal. But Viper gonna go ahead and clear up bot lane, and we're fine. It's EG 4-3 in turrets, 8-8 in kills, but 2,500 gold ahead. It is farm primarily getting them this big lead.
It really is. They've been doing a good job picking up a lot of this farm. Svenskeren in particular has quite a lot of farm on this Gragas, and he is really the kind of pure magic damage threat that they do have. Zeyzal obviously building full tank. Ornn, yes, does some, but it is mostly going to be about that threat of burst from Svenskeren, so it's nice that he has quite a bit of farm to his name, sitting on the 2 completed items, plus those boots ready to go. IgNar, though, is actually looking to threaten a flank. So he's sitting on a pink ward right now. He actually just stepped onto the Scuttle Crab, though. And you can see the question mark pings coming out. So they actually know that IgNar is there. I'm not sure if he realized, but that fully reveals you when you do actually step onto that edge, even at that brush.
Well, that's going to be a knockup, though. It's good damage to Santorin. He's going to go right back in for the dunk, trying to look for Kumo, who's just going to stay inside that pit because there isn't damage to kill him. But drops to about 2k, so 1/3 of the health bar is gone. Zeyzal going to find the opener towards IgNar. He's able to jump back towards Viper, who wants in. Big dunk. Finds a lot of damage. This re-engage could look good. Viper, tanky. Look at that punch. Bang almost can't fight, but his ulti lands, and the follow-through should be enough. Look at that triple picked up already. And that is an easy team fight win for EG. Nothing else FlyQuest can do. PoE and Turtle left in the back line, not able to fight anything.
Viper got a ton of damage down, but again, he's just melting with this build. He's dying so quickly, and EG are debating, do they want to go to Baron? Look at them, they're completely split on the call here. Jiizuke and Kumo are going to try to two-man this dragon while the rest go to Baron. We'll see if they can even win this fight.
Well, he does have flash, but needs, but WildTurtle can't go anywhere. Jiizuke lands the skill shots this time around. Hit shot comes through and picks up that kill. And now it's time for PowerOfEvil to just simply run away. Ocean Drake, no problem at all. EG gonna claim that one. And on top of it, they can have their cake and eat it too. Baron grabbed right afterwards.
Damn, that feels good if you are EG. You win the team fight. You win the 2v2 for the dragon, take the dragon. Meanwhile, the rest of the homies up on the top side, taking the Baron down. They just got everything at the same time there, as we got to see that Ezreal flexing his muscle. Jiizuke is so strong right now, and Turtle didn't have summoners, didn't have ultimates, so Jiizuke hits those skill shots and makes Turtle disappear.
That's a magic trick. Thankfully, he is back. That's always what you see in the third act, is that he has reappeared on the map, but with more deaths than before.
He's cut in half.
Well, we'll see if they can... He's, you know, that sounds about right. I think he has been. We'll see if he can reattach himself later on, maybe in Game 3, but Evil Genius is still in a lot of control here, and the game looks a bit more convincing than the previous one, right? They're actually just like outright winning team fights of their own making. The backline doing very well. Jiizuke's Ezreal up to 4-3-7 with the Triforce now upgraded as well. Looks to be feeling pretty comfortable. Hurricane done for Bang. He's got a lot of damage output. PoE chunked a little bit. Not going to land that Q, but they are wave clearing. Svenskeren Shepherd's in the mid lane, and he can walk right back over. Nice try by Bang. Doesn't land that ulti either, though. And FlyQuest able to play a little bit of defense, but very slowly these turrets are still being chunked down.
Just getting poked away at him. This Baron cannon is actually just working quite a bit of damage down on the turret. Jiizuke, anytime his W's up, he can actually step forward. That tower is just gone. The inhibitor is going to be just gone. And Svenskeren will have another wave here in mid lane very shortly. So they can actually look to just move over towards mid lane. And EG in full control, 7,000 plus gold up. Looking like they're going to get both inhibitors. Jiizuke's working on the Nexus towers.
And meanwhile, the rest of the squad is working on champions as the second inhibitor turret's going to fall. The second inhibitor going to drop here as well. Still over a minute left on the Baron buff. The question is, do they keep sieging or do they take the reset off the last minute? And right now, it's going for the Nexus. Gold in pockets, Baron in hand. First turret dropped low. FlyQuest must fight before this other turret falls. Finally, the trigger is pulled. Some knockups are found, but do they have the backline damage? So far, they do not. Viper again forced to stopwatch. Double knockout comes through for the Ornn, and Bang just simply picks up the kill yet again. Viper unable to accomplish in these team fights. Kumo looks for the knockup, doesn't quite find it, but the turret now down to half HP with less members to defend. PoE goes back to the fountain to heal back up. Now the Nexus is laid open. FlyQuest must fight. The Nexus is falling. Stopwatch used by Svenskeren, still hitting it though, without ever being killed or stopped or anything. Evil Genius has knocked down the Nexus with 5 alive and take game 2.
2 games in, 29-minute win in game 1, 27-minute win in game 2. And as you said, much more dominant. This one did not rely on any sort of Baron throw or crazy mishap. EG just felt like overall they were winning throughout the game. Their one kind of fumble really was that Rift Herald fight that they even set up better for and didn't really get that far behind off of because they were playing the map better, and the Ezreal pick really did work out. It's quite an interesting move from Jiizuke to bring this out, because it wasn't like it was to dominate in lane. It wasn't really, bullying the Azir or anything. It was just farming evenly. But Jiizuke team fought admirably down the stretch, played really well on this, and overall, EG are just now adding another champion that you have to worry about for this guy, because if he can just throw out the mid lane Ezreal, if he can bring in more marksmen to the table here too, it's another thing that's going to be in the back of your mind during champ select.
He's looking good. Very well played so far. Evil Geniuses, a 2-0 start, 1 Nexus away. They got 3 chances to knock down 1 more Nexus and make their way to the upper bracket final. We'll see if they can make that one happen. On the other side of the break, though, Dash and the analysts will look at how this 2-0 began. So we'll catch you soon.